Hello and welcome to this tutorial on Lokalise. In this video you are going to learn how to convert your file into many formats with the help of our service. So, working with different file formats is a very common task, and Lokalise is actually the tool that you are probably looking for, because you can upload multiple files in different formats and then convert the uploaded content into many other formats, including JSON, XML, CSV, YAML, or maybe XLSX, and so on and so forth. So in fact we support lots and lots of different file formats, as you can see here. On top of that, you can use Lokalise to edit the uploaded content. You can even translate this content into multiple languages. You can invite more contributors to your project, so you can work with your team together within a single service, and there are many other options really. So let's get started, and first of all proceed to Lokalise.com. You can click try it for free if you don't have an account with us, and then just provide your email, then provide your name, then provide your password, click continue. Then you will need to confirm your email. You might see a screen looking like this. In fact, if you already have a team in Lokalise, you just click join. If you don't, just say create, and after that, choose some role. It doesn't really matter in this case, and then you will need to give a name for your project. Maybe, I don't know, JSON project, because my initial content will be in JSON, but of course you can use some other format as well. And then, provide the base language. So my language is English, so I'm choosing, of course, English, but you can choose any other languages from this list. As for the translating tool, if you are not planning to translate your content into anything, it really doesn't matter what you choose here. For instance, you can choose French. But if you would like to upload English texts, then translate them into some other languages, and then download these translated texts into multiple formats, then please choose one or more languages from the list. Let's press continue, continue again. Here you can choose anything, it doesn't matter, and then click get started. So in fact, you can follow the wizard's instructions if you would like, for instance, to connect your code repository or something like that, but you can safely close it. And then let's proceed to the editor. So this is basically the place where you can work with your texts. This sample data can be removed. And now let's proceed to the upload page. So here on this page, you will need to select one or more files to upload to Lokalise. You can drag and drop those files, you can copy paste your data right here, or you can choose a file from your PC. So choose one or more files for uploading. You can see there are 3 keys, so which is exactly correct. I have 3 keys, and this key is actually in plural format. And then, the detected language is English, which is correct, but if it is detected improperly, you can choose any other language. And then as for these options, most of these can be left intact, but most likely you will want to enable this one so that you can easily edit your files that have line breaks. But if your data contains some placeholders, like this for instance, most likely you will want to enable the feature that is called convert to universal placeholders. You know why? Because different file formats use different placeholders, and so to properly convert your data into multiple formats, you will need to enable this option. Otherwise it will be quite complex for you to keep these placeholders properly, aligned between formats. If you don't use placeholders, or if you don't know what's that, just don't enable this option, and that's that. If you're using ICU plurals, then also tick this option. If you don't know what's an ICU, probably you don't use it. That's basically the idea. Also, if you'd like, you can tag your keys, but it's not really mandatory, and that's pretty much it. So other options, you can learn more about those in our documentation, but let's leave those intact. Then press import, and once everything is done, return to the editor. Here are all my data. So we can see here is the sign up value, which corresponds to this sign up. Then we have this welcoming message that also corresponds to this welcoming message. And here, by the way, is the universal placeholder. Okay, here you can edit your data as you see fit, so you just press here, you can modify something, you can save the changes, you can even provide additional data. So for instance, let's say add key, and maybe you would like to add a value that is called sign in, then proceed to advanced and say that it should be also assigned maybe to this file, say create, and your data should be added just like this, and then you can download this data as well. Of course, you can translate this data to multiple languages if so you wish. You can add more languages here, by the way. If you don't know the language, it's not a big deal because you have suggestions from our providers. Also, you can use Lokalise AI, so you can ask to translate it for you. Then you can rephrase, you can suggest multiple variants, etc., and then choose one of those. Pick this variant, click save, and well, basically you are good to go. You can even hire professional translators, so I mean humans, it's possible as well, so please check out docs to learn more. But anyways, so now let's proceed to the download page. So that's where you can choose the output format for your data. By default we have JSON, but there is a huge list of all the supported formats. For instance, XLSX. Or maybe XML. Well, as for these guys, by the way, don't choose those unless you understand what you're doing, because these three formats are used for something else. So this is for developers that are introducing over-the-air localization. So well, let's ignore it for the purposes of this demo. Then you can see there are web formats, there are other formats. So for instance, I don't know, maybe let's choose Excel. Okay, then as for the languages, choose one or more languages to include into the download bundle. As for the file structure, probably you will want to keep this intact unless you need to achieve something really specific. Then as for the content to export, by default we include all the data from your files, but actually there is another thing that I have to mention. JSON format is related to web, right? But currently we are choosing some other format, which is XLSX, and it is not really related to web. And so if you are choosing a format from some other category, then you will need to tick this, because otherwise your content will not be added to this format, right? Okay, let's proceed. You can include or exclude some tags if you'd like. You can, by the way, filter by the file names. It is really convenient if your project contains multiple files and you would like to say that only this data should be included into the bundle. As for the advanced settings, well, you can leave it be, but if you are a technical guy, you're maybe a developer, maybe you'll want to tinker with these options a bit. For instance, if you would like to override the placeholder format or the pluralization format, then that's it. So you can say, I would like to build and download. You will get an archive. And here inside this directory, you can see here's your file. And here you go, so check it out. We have the keys and we have the values in the XLSX format, so my congratulations. Of course, you can pick other formats as well. Maybe, for instance, let's pick, I don't know, CSV. In this case, by the way, you will see the preview button, so click on it and you will see the preview right in your browser, so this is how your file will look like. Then once again, you press build and download and you will get your archive. So as you can see, it is really simple, but well, there is much more to Lokalise. So you can, for example, add more contributors to your projects. Then you can assign various translation tasks to your contributors. You can upload screenshots to provide context. You can use glossaries. You can connect multiple applications to your projects. As you can see, there are many apps. By the way, it's possible to integrate with Adobe XD and Figma and many others. So really, the sky is limit. And actually, if you are a developer, you will be able to use the Lokalise API so that you can automate this conversion and maybe write a script that converts your file to multiple formats. You can check the textual version of this tutorial to learn more. So it explains how to get started, how to use our API. Here are the examples written in, well, TypeScript with the help of Node.js, but of course there are other examples in other languages that can be found in a separate tutorial that is called Lokalise API in practice. And so this is it. Hopefully you'll find our service really helpful for you. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. I thank you for staying with me today, and well, see you in other tutorials.